that machine tested?
Yeah.
Okay, well we need to get it shipped out. The customer's waiting on it.
Yes, sir.
Willy, snap out of it! Hi. Can you embroider this for my cat? His name is Vinny.
Yeah. Why not?
Yay! Okay, I'm excited. Thank you. Thanks, Willy.
Okay.
Well, alright guys, there you have it. Looks like today's episode of Embroidery Hub, I'm going to be embroidering on a furry stocking for a furry friend. Now you may be wondering, with all of this fur, how will I still be able to achieve crisp lettering on top of this stocking, and what device will I be using? So today I'm going to be using the 8-in-1 device on the MT1501 machine and showing you two different methods of how to knock down the fur of the stocking. One using chroma and the other using topping. Trust me, this will be fun for real. There are two different ways that you can create a knockdown stitch or a knot blocker. Essentially what a knockdown stitch does and a knot blocker is pretty much brings the fur of the stocking down so that you're able to stitch a really nice crisp letterings on top. It can be achieved in two different ways in your digitizing software. Let's go ahead and jump into Chroma Lux first to show you how easy it is to do it with Chroma Lux, and then I'll show you how to do it with Inspire. And obviously if you have Plus, then it's pretty much the same way. You can decide which way you want to do it. Now if you guys have Chroma Inspire and you would like to upgrade to Chroma Plus or even Lux because of this video, scroll down to the description below. Alright, so this is going to be very simple because we're using Chroma Lux. So I'm going to show you why and how I can make this in just a couple of minutes. The first thing I'm going to do, since I'm doing the name of a cat, so I'm going to put just the letters. I'm going to select the text tool. I'm going to click on the screen. The first letter is A. Now you could always change the fonts. I had already this font preset because it's a nice letter for Christmas. So that's why I have this one here. So I'm just going to leave this one as is. Now the colors that I have there selected are not going to be the same colors I'm going to be embroidering on. I'm just going to have them there just so I know there's different colors, different steps. So the next thing I'm going to do is write down the name, which is Vinny. And then after I write down the name, I'm going to press the apply button. Now here I have the name. The next thing I'm going to do is add some density over on this so that all the stitches are nice and tight against each other. Now I'm going to press the apply button, and there you can see how nice and neat it's going to start looking already. Now how to create the actual knot blocker. Now this is going to be the easiest thing to do because of Luxe. Alright, so I'm going to go into my selecting tool. I'm going to right click. After right click, I'm going to go over to my utility, and then I'm going to look for create knot blocker. Now this page will come out, and this is basically asking me the distance around the letters. So in this case, I want it to be about a 0.13 because 0.16, how it's set to there, I think is going to be pretty big for what I need it. Now, if you do have a lot of fur or is very, very puffy or anything like that, just go ahead and add more density if you feel like you need it. For me, I think 0.13 is fine. I'm going to press the OK. Now, as you can see, the knot blocker doesn't really look that good because the density is really, really low. So we're going to add some density by lowering our numbers here. So instead of having it at 1, I'm going to put it at 0.3, just like the density of the letters. Now you can see it's the same color as part of the letters. So I want to change that over to a different color just in case I change the stocking to a different color or any of that. It's always good to have an extra step so you can be able to choose a color that you really want the knot blocker to be. So I'm going to go over and just select any color. Now that I have this, I obviously am not going to do the knot blocker in that color, but just so I know that I do have a different step here. Now the last thing I'm going to do is set my angle for the knot blocker. I don't want it to be horizontal because then the letters start kind of looking rough. So I don't want that to be looking rough. Since I'm putting on an angle, any stitches that I have that are horizontal, they're actually going to come out looking a lot better because the stitches don't go with it and they don't hide inside of my nap blocker. All right, so let me go ahead and change that now. I'm going to go over to my shape tool. Now it already looks like it's on an angle, so that's pretty good. But I do see here that some of these stitches on the letters are kind of the same way. So instead, I'm going to change it to a different angle. And now you can see it's going against these stitches. So that's what I really want. I don't want the stitches to go facing the same way, because then some of those edges will hide inside of the nap blocker and then make it look a little bit rough. Now the next thing I'm going to do is set my starting and ending point. Now my starting point, I'm going to put it all the way on the left, all the way on the bottom left, and my ending point, I'm going to put it all the way on the top right. I'm going to right click, and now I'm going to see how it's going to look. And that's perfect. That's what you want. You want it to start on one side and end the other side. Now this is pretty much it for the Chroma Lux part. All right guys, so this is Chroma Inspire, as you can see on the top left. Now if you want to do a nap blocker with Chroma Inspire, it's gonna be a little bit harder, but it's not impossible. Now what we're gonna do is go over to the text tool like we did with Luxe, and we're going to write down the name, which is Vinny. And I'm going to add that same density I did on Luxe, which is 0.3. All right, so I'm going to select this font instead, just because the other font is not on Inspire. But that's fine. This font looks just as nice. So what I'm going to do to create the nap blocker, I'm going to select the complex fill tool, and I'm going to select a different color. Now what you want to do is pretty much go around the outside of the letters, depending how far you want it, but you don't want to make it into details and going into the inside of the letters or in between the letters. So I'll show you how to do that. You start off on the side. Now, mind you, this doesn't have to be perfect. All right, as you can see here, and I'm gonna be pushing this to the front. This is pretty much the same thing. Now you can always edit your nap blocker by going over to the shaping tool, and if you want to kind of add some nice angles to it, if you kind of want to add some nice angles to it, you can by doing this, just changing your dots, just changing your blue dots and having them move kind of around to over here. And remember what I told you guys about your angle line on your nap blocker. Always have it on an actual angle so that your letters can look really nice and crisp. Now my starting point is going to be on my bottom right, and my ending point, I'm going to put it on my top left. Now, like I said, you can always edit this. It's not that hard, but if you want to make it look nicer, you could always edit your nap blocker with the shape tool. All right, now we're gonna see how it's going to stitch out. And here we go. This is your nap blocker. All right, guys, that was quick and easy. So all I have to do now is pretty much store it in my USB and go ahead and embroider it. All right, guys, so let's go over the materials that I'm going to be using for this project. I have my 8-in-1 device. I'm going to be using this type of hoop. I also have my stabilizer already attached to the hoop, and I have my topping. Now I'm going to be using these clips so that I can clip on the stocking once I have it in the machine. So this time I'm going to be putting it in the machine first, and then I'm going to be hooping it. Now I do have to put this inside. It just makes it very easy for me instead of having to be in the machine and then doing it afterwards. Now you guys can pick these toppings or the stabilizer at a Joann's or at a Michael's. All right, guys, so today I'm using the one and only the MT1501 Ricoma embroidery machine. Now, you do not need this machine to do this whole project that we're doing today. You can use the EM1010, you can use the TC, the SWD. If you guys want to learn more about this machine, scroll down to the description below. All right, so we have the design already in the machine. All we have to do is put in the hoop, get it traced, and press the start button. So let's get started. All right guys, so let's go ahead and insert the 8-in-1 in the machine. Make sure we're locked in. Now I'm just gonna bring it out. And all I have to do is hoop the stocking now. Go ahead and put the top here. Try to stretch it as much as I can in this area. And now I want to make sure that when I bring it back, that my sewing arm is going inside of the stocking. All right, so my last step is going to get my topping. I'm gonna double it up and I'm gonna put it right on top. And now I'm gonna be using these clips just to make sure that my topping doesn't go everywhere. All right, now the last thing is going to be tracing my design. All right guys, so we're ready to roll. We have the stocking already hooped. We have the design already in the machine and we've just finished tracing. So let's go ahead and press the start button. All right guys, so that's it. This one already finished embroidering, so I'm gonna go ahead and take it out. I'm going to unclip it. And all I have to do is just bring it out. And now it's very simple. Once you take it out of the hoop, all you have to do is rip off the topping. And that's it. If you want to go in a little bit in details and try to get it even cleaner, you can do that as well. All right, so after you rip off the topping, all you have to do is clean up if you need to clean up. In my case, everything came out real nice and neat, so I don't have to. All right, so now that this is over, let's go ahead and do method number 2, which is using the nap blocker. All right, so now what we have to do is unlock the machine and let's go ahead and select the other design, which is this one right here. As you can tell, you have the nap blocker in the back. I'm gonna go ahead and press the OK button. And it's pretty much the same process, just choosing the design. I already have my color set up here. All I have to do is just lock it in. And since it's almost the same size, it should stay in the same area. So let's go ahead and get to the hoopy now. All right, so let's just put the clamps inside. All right, so let's go ahead and put the 8-in-1. Make sure it's nice and tight inside of the machine. And we're gonna do the same process. Just put the stocking over and make sure that your sewing arm is inside of the stocking. That's about it. Now in this one, I don't have to use any topping, just a stabilizer, but I do have to use these clips because they will be very helpful to maintain this in the same area. All right, so let's go ahead and trace. So we're set up for method number 2, which is going to be using the nap blocker. All we have to do now is press start. All right, so it's completed now. I'm gonna go ahead and start unhooping this. All right. And like always, just rip it off because the stabilizer we used is a tearaway. All right, so that's it. This is how it turned out. I think it came out really nice. No need for cleaning, at least on mine. I think it came out really nice. It looks really good. Those letters really make it stand out. All right, guys, so here we go. 2 different ways that you could embroider on a stocking for this holiday. Now let's go over and surprise Julie. Hey,
Hi.
look what I got for you.
Oh my gosh, wow, it looks so great. Vinny's gonna love it.
Well, I hope so. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's.
Thank you. Merry Christmas to you, Willy.
See ya. Alright guys, so Julia loved her stocking. Now, I want to remind you guys of some quick tips. The first one is when you're using a nap blocker to start on one side and end it on the other side. And when you're using a topping, make sure you grab it with some clips so it doesn't move around anywhere. Alright guys, I hope you enjoy your holidays. I'm gonna try to enjoy mine. Now, we will be back pretty soon with some new episodes. So if you wanna like this video, subscribe, and press on that bell button so you don't miss out on the next video that's coming out pretty soon. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.